little differently. When ultraviolet sunlight hits our skin, it affects each of us a little differently. Depending on skin color, it'll take only minutes of exposure to turn one person beetroot pink, while another requires hours to experience the slightest change. So what's to account for that difference, and how did our skin come to take on so many different hues to begin with? Whatever the color, our skin tells an epic tale of human intrepidness and adaptability, revealing its variance to be a function of biology. It all centers around melanin, the pigment that gives skin and hair its color. This ingredient...
Alright, hold on. I'm going to start off saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. I'll say all praise and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, that taught us the truth. Alright, peace and mercy be unto the Lord's elect. Alright, I was gonna let the whole video play through, but I needed to stop the video at key points, alright, because she makes the narrator makes very good points in this video, but they also go off. Alright, so I just wanted to like chime in, alright, on the points that she messes up on, and then correct her. But what she said was some facts right there. She talked about how some people turn a beetroot pink, alright, and others a darker brown. All right, and then she was breaking it down on the biological level. All right, it was what happens. All right, so let me go back real quick.
Adaptability, revealing its variance to be a function of biology. It all centers around melanin, the pigment that gives skin and hair its color.
Okay, she said it all centers around melanin. Melanin. All right, which is melanin. Melanin. Slaki. I don't pronounce that word the best, all right, but melanin, all right, that's what gives pigmentation its color, right? So let's look at all right, from a Bible standpoint, let's look at Salaki. Let me go back real quick. Let's look at this, man. You see this picture right here, all right? This picture, well, that's about to get ready to pop up. It is a picture of what it's going to illustration of what she's talking about, all right? She said pigmentation. This is what that Edomite said. She said pigmentation. Melanin is what gives skin color is pigmentation. All right. Again, melanin is what gives skin color is pigmentation. It's color. All right. So what is that? White is technically not a color. All right. It's, what I mean? They teach that in middle school and stuff like that. So you have the various shades of other colors, all right, when you look on the color scheme, all right. But look at his skin is brown, all right, and then when melanin is stripped away from his skin, it turns white, all right. And so this is what white people have. Let's look at this video. I gotta show you this real quick, man. White people. Just type in white people, man. I need an image, all right. Okay, look. All right, you see this? Oh, this is perfect. Look at that. All right, now look at that. They have what you consider leprosy. All right, and they're clean lepers. All right, and I'm gonna get into it. All right, but let me go back real quick, man. All right, go back because I don't want to. I'm gonna get a precept, man. This is Leviticus chapter 13. All right, verse 1. I'm gonna start from the top. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, when a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab or bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh like the plague of leprosy. All right, meaning like it said when it be in the skin like the plague of leprosy, meaning like if it's like a white spot on them. All right, that scab is like a white spot on them because scab has it has stages to where it go to the process of healing and going back to its original color. All right, that's why if you ever scrape yourself, all right, you will that scab will eventually heal, and then it will turn back to its original color, which is brown skin, because men are originally brown skin, all right, except for Esau, because the Lord hit him with that plague. All right, matter of fact, I go to that real quick too, man. All right. Let me see. Jump down, jump down. Jump down, jump down. And I think I passed it already. Let's see. It's cursing down the slocky and punishment greater than I can bear. It hit himself, set a mark. It should say what word mark. Let's see. I don't think I passed it. Okay, maybe I did. Hold on. Okay, let me just type it in, man. Say mark. Okay, here we go. Genesis chapter 4, verse 15. And the Lord said unto him, therefore, whosoever slayeth Cain, all right, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest any finding him should kill him, man. And that mark, all right, it's actually leprosy. All right, he said that mark of leprosy on Cain. All right. You know what I mean? Because that was he pretty much took that pigmentation away from Cain. All right, because Cain was originally a so-called black person or brown. He was a brown person. All right, but then when the Lord set that mark upon him, which was leprosy, all right, he became pretty much like this. All right, let me go to what I'm talking about. He went from a man of color. All right. He went from a brown skinned man, all right, to turn it. You see them spots on him, which is leprosy. They call it vitiligo in this day and age. All right, he went from a brown skinned man to turning white, all right, and then to all white, all right, or all pink or all red, if you will, all right. So that's what the Lord, that mark that Yahweh Shem Shah set upon him, all right. So now, go back real quick, man. Okay, we go back. Slovakia, where was I at? All right, let me going back to the book of Leviticus chapter 13. I'm probably gonna break it up into parts. Leviticus 13 verse 3. It said, and the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair and the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy. All right, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. All right, because you got the unclean and then you got the clean. Esau is what you consider the clean leopard, like I said. And when I'm gonna jump down to expound on that, but you unclean will be like, you just got the spot. It would be like a scab. All right, let's say let me go right here. I'm trying to make this simple because this is sometimes this topic can be a little confusing. I mean, that chapter can be a little confusing but anyway, look, this is what it was talking about when it's going to go into it. But you get a scab or something like that or whatever. First you scrape yourself, the blood and all that, and then it goes through stages. It starts to heal, all right, and then that scab hardens to like a black part. And like I said, I gotta go back to it. Hold on, just to break it out, man. Let me see. Let me jump down real quick, man. Okay, let me breeze through it. It say verse 4. It say if the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that have the plague 7 days. So all right, they're going through that process. If he see the spot, all right, and it say and this white spot in the skin of his flesh, and the sight be not deeper than the skin. It say, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that have the plague 7 days. All right, so put him outside of the camp, all right, outside of the city, pretty much quarantine him, all right, until the plague goes away, or that leprosy goes away. If he's an unclean leopard, all right. It's saying the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. So if it's still there, he gonna put him away another 7 days, which is 14 days. And say, and the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab. and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. So that part right there is talking about Israelite. It's like it's talking about if you're Israelite and you have a skin, and you had a and you have like a scab, and it pretty much does not spread. Hold on, let me see. Let me go back to it. If you have with this right here, what it's talking about, if you have a scab and it spreads not, all right, then you will be considered, like I said, you will be considered be clean. All right, I mean you be holy. All right, you just gotta go. I'm trying not to confuse you. It will be you be clean. All right, you will be clean, but you got you got another clean leper. All right, when you go back, when you go down further. All right, that's why I just said right here that clean one is talking about an Israelite. All right, that that just had a scab. All right, what you just seen right there. That's why I said and it be dark, somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin. You see that going back. It said and it be dark, and you see a dark spot, and it spread not in the skin, meaning it don't go all over the place, meaning it doesn't do this. This is what I'm trying to say, and it meaning it doesn't do that. What this guy has. Go back. See that has a dark spot. All right. See, like, see one of them little spots right there. These has dark spots. All right, and then it said if it spreads. All right. So this is spreading, all right, and this will be considered, all right, leprosy, all right, and it's deeper than the skin, all right. Going back, man, all right. Like I said, because this chapter kind of bounces around a little bit, but I'm trying to confuse you, all right. But going back, Leviticus 13 verse 7. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he had been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. All right, and what it was just, what was it just doing right here? It was spreading. It was spreading. All right, going back. It says, and if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreadeth in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. All right. It say what the plague of leprosy. It say when the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought up to the priest, and the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, then there be raw flesh in the rising. It is an old leprosy in the skin of the flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he's unclean. All right, meaning he has to. Meaning when it say he's unclean, meaning he's that scowl or that scab has not gone away. All right, so he needs to stay till it gets healed. All right. It say verse 12. It say, and if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that have the plague, from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looketh, then the priest shall consider it, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is all turned white. He is clean. And that right there, that verse right there, the one I just highlighted, that verse is talking about you pretty much an Edomite, all right. It said leprosy cover all the cover him all, and then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that have the plague. It is all turned white. He is clean. All right, and like I said, that's not talking about you being like when he mentioned clean earlier, it's talking about you're in the clear, you're good. But this clean is talking about he's a Edomite. All right, you have like the full leprosy. All right, like this right here. It's talking about an Edomite. All right. That is what you consider a clean leopard. Esau is a clean leopard. All right. That's what it's talking about. All right. Let me go back. All right. And the earlier one when it said clean, it was talking about if you have a scab. All right. And it's talking about if you're Jake or Israelite, you got a scab and it was going through the healing stages, and then it like, and sometimes, like I said, this picture right here towards the end, it kind of shows it, but if it's white and then it's spread not, it's just a scab. That's what they were talking about. All right, and then they're gonna be like, oh no, he's good. It's just a scab. He's gonna heal up. It's okay. He does, he's straight. But then they was talking about earlier the other clean leper, the one I just read. It's talking about if you being a fucking Edomite, man. And say, but when raw flesh appeareth in him, he shall be unclean. All right, jumping down. Let me see. Let me jump down to. Let me jump down to. Jump down to. Let me see. I want to say. What's that one at? About the hair. The one about the hair. Okay, here we go. Yeah, Leviticus 13 verse 30. Then the priest shall see the plague, and behold it, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair. You see that? There be in there a yellow thin hair. Go over. See that? A yellow thin hair. You know what I mean? What you see on the screen. Let me go back. Let's see real quick. And then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry scald, even a leprosy upon the head of the beard, man. All right. It say, and if the priest look on the plague of the scald, and behold, it be not in the sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut him up and have the plague of the scald 7 days. All right. And say, and then the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, the scald spread not, and there be any yellow hair, and the scald be not in sight deeper than the skin. All right. Well, it's like I said, that was pretty much the point, man. All right. That was pretty much the point, man. All right. You got the leprosy of the scalp, which is the yellow thin hair. All right. Then you got the clean leopard, man. All right, which is the one I just read in the 13th verse. All right. And let me go. Let me just hit this last, and then you got the story of Numbers of Miriam. All right, Aaron and Moses' sister. All right. Let me see. Let me just hit this last one. So like here, 2 Kings 5. Let's see. 2 Kings 5. Verse 6, it said, he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, now when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mayest recover him of his leprosy. It say, and it came to pass when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes and said, Am I God to kill and to make alive, that this man doeth send me into a man to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. See, jump down. Let me jump down real quick, man. Let me see. That was the one on point. It said, and Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be healed, and thou shalt be clean. You see that? It say he's pretty much, when he say right here, when he's saying same one I read in Leviticus, when he said thou shalt be clean, when Elisha said thou shalt be clean and the flesh come again, he's talking about you're in the clear. All right, how it was just a scab. All right, that's why I said when thy flesh shall come again. All right, and look at this, man. All right, if you're a clean leper, that flesh is not coming again. It's going to stay like that. All right. The one I read in Leviticus 13 and 13. All right, it said when there's a leprosy is from the head all the way down to the foot, all and covered the whole body pretty much. It said this is what you said, a clean leper. All right, but you had when Elisha just said you're going to be clean and the flesh comes again. Like I said, the flesh can't come again on them. All right, on Edomites. That's just how the Most High made them. They're clean all the way down to the foot. It will be considered a clean leper. But the other clean that Elisha was just referring to when I read Leviticus 13, around verse 6 or earlier up, it was talking about when it heals. Now you're considered you're in the clear. That's what that clean is talking about. All right. So when you heal, when this right here, the spreading of that leprosy, when it comes back. When it heals up, like I said, when you have a scab and go back, when that scab, right, when it heals up and then the flesh comes back, now you will be considered clean. All right, you will be in the clear. All right, that's what it's talking about when the flesh comes again. Because when you get a scab, it goes through those stages, but then it comes back. The flesh eventually comes back on that scab and it gets healed, man. Yeah, so like I said, I hope I explained that, you know, pretty good. And I had that video. Let me go back to the video, man. And I think I explained that pretty good, man. But let me go back to this video, man. Let me see. Where do I go? Oh no, this was another thing I wanted to bring out. This is a beautiful point. I'm glad before I ended it. I was gonna break it up in parts, but this is good enough, man. All right. When you go to that word, all right. Let me go back. When you go to that word, when you go in the book of Leviticus, when you go to Leviticus 13, verse what's that? What is that? 6. Starts in plague. Scab. What is it? Scab. Clove. Was it scab? Man, I want to say, damn, what was that? Spread skin. It was a point. Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, when you look up that word leprosy, I'm trying to see where is that. When you look up leprosy, all right, let's see, because it takes you to a word. And so you look up leprosy in the book of Leviticus, all right. The Greek, all right, Tazrath. Let me spell it.
Strong's H 6883. Sarath.
All right, and it says leprosy is H. Oh, actually, it's the Hebrew. All right, excuse me. H 6883. It's saying people malignant skin disease. Now let's look up that word malignant. All right. In fact, I already pulled it up. The word malignant. All right, when you look it up, it's gonna take you to deterioration. All right. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me go back over here. When you look up the word malignant, all right, look it up. Like I said, when you look it up in the Webster, that's what I just did. The Webster dictionary, Merriam-Webster dictionary, say tending to process death or deterioration. Let's look up deterioration. It said the action or process of becoming impaired or inferior in quality, functioning, or condition. And did not. Who came out first? Esau came out first, then Jacob, right? And is not the white man weaker? The scripture said, one nation shall be stronger than the other. Jacob is naturally stronger. The genes, the DNA, naturally stronger. Having leprosy, all right, that is a malignant skin disease. It say the action or process of becoming impaired or inferior in quality, function, or condition. All right, malignant skin disease, man. All right. And like I said, I can play the video, man. I'm gonna finish it off with the video, man.
If you've ever tried meditation, you have to get intuition. I've been meditating for over 10.
Let me hear that, man.
This ingredient comes from melanocytes and takes two basic forms. There's eumelanin, which gives rise to a range of brown skin tones as well as black, brown, and blonde hair. And pheomelanin, which causes the reddish browns of freckles and red hair. But humans weren't always like this. Our varying skin tones were formed by an evolutionary process.
That's a lot right there, man. All right, humans were always, they were always like that. They always had melanin until Yahweh took the pigment away from the melanin away from Cain.
Driven by the sun. It began some 50,000 years ago when our ancestors migrated.
Another lie. The earth is not that old. It's more so around 12,000 years according to the Apocrypha.
North from Africa and into Europe and Asia. These ancient humans lived between the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn, a region saturated by the sun's UV-carrying rays. When skin is exposed to UV for long periods of time, the UV light damages the DNA within our cells, and skin starts to burn. If that damage is severe enough, the cell's mutations can lead to melanoma, a deadly cancer that forms in the skin's melanocytes. Sunscreen as we know it today didn't exist 50,000 years ago.
Exactly. So what color was the Lord? If sunscreen didn't exist 50, which that's another lie she said 50,000 years ago. If sunscreen didn't exist thousands of years ago when Yahweh Shah was on the scene, then come on, man. He wasn't a white boy. All right? He wasn't an Edomite. Yahweh Shah was a so-called black man, all right, from the tribe of Judah, all right, that naturally had melanin, all right, because melanin is what Israelites have, which are so-called black, Latino, Native Americans.
So how did our ancestors cope with this onslaught of UV? The key to survival lay in their own personal sunscreen, manufactured beneath the...
That's because the Most High already equipped his beloved people, which are the Israelites, the Negro, Latino, Native American. He already equipped them with natural defenses against the UV rays, man, which is melanin. All right,
skin, melanin.
Which is something you Edomites do not have. You so-called white people do not have melanin. All right, you're a clean leopard.
An amount of melanin in your skin determines whether you'll be more or less protected from the sun. This comes down to the skin's response as sunlight strikes it. When it's exposed to UV light, that triggers special light-sensitive receptors called rhodopsin, which stimulate the production of melanin to shield cells from damage. For light-skinned people, that extra melanin darkens their skin and produces a tan. Over the course of generations, humans living at the sun-saturated latitudes in Africa adapted to have a higher melanin production threshold and more eumelanin, giving skin a darker tone. This built-in sun shield helped protect them from melanoma, likely making them evolutionarily fitter and capable of passing this useful trait on to new generations. But soon, some of our sun-adapted ancestors migrated northward out of the tropical zone, spreading far and wide across the Earth. The further north they traveled, the less direct sunshine they saw. This was a problem, because although UV light can damage skin, it also has an important parallel benefit. UV helps our bodies produce vitamin D, an ingredient that strengthens bones and lets us absorb vital minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphate, and zinc. Without it, humans experience serious fatigue and weakened bones that can cause a condition known as rickets. For humans whose dark skin effectively blocked whatever sunlight there was, vitamin D deficiency would have posed a serious threat in the north. But some of them happened to produce less melanin. They were exposed to small enough amounts of light that melanoma was less likely, and their lighter skin better absorbed the UV light. So they benefited from vitamin D, developed strong bones, and survived well enough to produce healthy offspring. Over many generations of selection, skin color in those regions gradually lightened. As a result of our ancestors' adaptability, today the planet is full of people with a vast palette of skin colors. Typically, darker eumelanin-rich skin in the hot, sunny band around the equator, and increasingly lighter pheomelanin-rich skin.
All right, man, that was it, man. I thought I'm saying, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles, great millstone. Peace and mercy be unto the Lord's elect. Shalom.